Have you ever felt like someone secretly has feelings for you, but they just won't admit it maybe? They act distant one moment and incredibly close the next? It's confusing, right? Well, psychology has some answers. People who suppress their emotions often exhibit small involuntary signs that betray what they truly feel in today's video. We'll explore 6 tiny but powerful signs that someone is fighting their feelings for you. Pay close attention because these subtle cues can reveal the truth. Hidden beneath their carefully constructed walls, they avoid eye contact or hold it too long. One of the first telltale signs is in their eyes. Have you noticed that they either avoid looking directly at you, or when they do, they hold eye contact a bit too long? This happens because they're battling between wanting to connect with you and wanting to hide their emotions. Psychology suggests that people in emotional conflict either avoid eye contact to suppress their feelings or overcompensate by staring too much, as if trying to find the courage to say what they feel but stopping themselves at the last moment. A classic example. You're in a conversation and every time you glance their way, they quickly look away, or perhaps they lock eyes with you and it feels like an eternity before they finally break the gaze. That lingering look, that's a subconscious sign of attachment. This type of eye behavior is often linked to limbic system responses, the part of the brain that governs emotions. People who are emotionally invested may find it extremely difficult to regulate their gaze, especially when in close proximity to the person they care about. If they look away, it's often an attempt to manage overwhelming emotional arousal. If they hold eye contact, it can be a silent emotional plea, hoping to connect more deeply but restrained by inner fear. Neuroscience research shows that the amygdala, a brain structure involved in emotional processing, becomes more active when we look into the eyes of someone we feel strongly about, which can make eye contact a stressful but revealing moment. The inability to maintain or avoid eye contact is not always deliberate but emerges from deep subconscious tensions between desire and restraint. And for people trying to suppress romantic emotions, their eyes often give them away before any words ever can. They tease you more than others. Teasing is often a disguise for hidden affection. If they frequently joke around with you, make light, sarcastic comments, or playfully challenge you in a way they don't with others, there's a strong chance they are masking deeper emotions. Why? Because teasing allows them to interact with you without openly admitting their feelings. It creates a safe space where they can express closeness without vulnerability. It's that classic pull your pigtails schoolyard behavior, but with more emotional complexity. Sometimes teasing can take the form of gentle mockery, giving you silly nicknames or challenging your opinions playfully. But what's key here is that they don't tease everyone the same way. They reserve this kind of playful interaction just for you. Teasing is a social bonding strategy often used in early stages of romantic attraction. According to interpersonal communication studies, it creates opportunities for back and forth exchange, which builds rapport while still maintaining emotional safety. Teasing allows the person to be present with you, engage emotionally, and test your reactions without exposing their own emotional stakes. And when someone is trying to hide how they feel, that emotional safety becomes critical. Studies in evolutionary psychology reveal that teasing serves a dual function as both flirtation and a defense mechanism, allowing a person to test romantic interest while maintaining plausible deniability. So, if they tease you in a way that's playful but slightly vulnerable, it may be their way of reaching out emotionally while still protecting their pride from rejection or exposure. They get jealous over small things. Jealousy is one of the most telling subconscious emotions. If someone is fighting their feelings for you, they may act indifferent, but subtle hints of jealousy will still show up. For example, if you mention someone else, their mood might shift slightly. They might go quiet, try to downplay the person's significance, or even make dismissive remarks. They may also suddenly take an interest in who you spend time with, ask about your social life in a way that seems casual but has an underlying curiosity. This is because deep down, they care more than they're willing to admit. Another example of hidden jealousy is when they subtly try to one-up whoever you're talking about. If you say you admire someone's intelligence, they might casually highlight something impressive about themselves, almost as if they're competing for your attention without making it obvious. Jealousy is often triggered by perceived threats to emotional closeness and is a deep emotional signal that something or someone matters more than we consciously express. This emotion often bypasses logic and even the person's own awareness, surfacing instead through protective or competitive behaviors that reveal a deeper need for validation and connection with you. In psychological terms, this is known as reactive jealousy, and it's a common response when someone has unresolved romantic attachment, even if they refuse to acknowledge it to themselves. Jealousy is not only an emotional signal, it's a primitive protective mechanism rooted in attachment theory. It reflects a fear of losing what one has or hopes to have, even if the relationship is not yet defined or mutual. The mere idea that someone else could be taking your attention or affection can stir a deep and often unspoken response in someone who cares more than they admit. They remember the little things. When someone is secretly in love, they notice and remember details others might overlook. Maybe you casually mentioned your favorite coffee order once, and weeks later, they surprise you by recalling it perfectly, or they remember a tiny story you told them in passing, something you wouldn't expect them to hold on to. This happens because emotional investment increases attention to detail, even if they try to deny their feelings. Their mind is unconsciously cataloging everything about you. It could be something as simple as remembering the way you like your eggs cooked, the book you said you wanted to read, or even small phrases you use often when they bring up these details later. It's because they've been paying close attention. Whether they realize it or not, the brain naturally stores more vivid and lasting memories associated with people we have strong emotional responses to. This happens because our attention is sharpened, and the hippocampus, which governs memory encoding, is more active in emotionally charged interactions. So if someone consistently recalls your preferences, stories, and quirks, they are showing signs of psychological and emotional imprinting that go far beyond casual interest. In fact, research into romantic memory reveals that when someone is emotionally drawn to you, their memory becomes selective and detailed, especially for personal information related to you. These memory traces create emotional anchors that strengthen feelings even when they try to suppress or rationalize them. Their body language betrays them. Even if they never say a word about their feelings, their body language will tell the truth. Do they lean in when talking to you, even when they don't need to? Do they mirror your movements without realizing it? Do they fidget, play with their hands, or adjust their hair when they're around you? These are all subconscious cues of attraction. Psychology states that when someone likes you but tries to suppress it, their body will still find ways to express the hidden emotions through unconscious gestures. For example, if they sit next to you, do they angle their body toward you? Do their feet point in your direction subconsciously? We physically orient ourselves toward people we're attracted to, even if our mind tries to resist. These nonverbal cues, such as dilated pupils, leaning in, matching posture, and proximity management, are rooted in evolutionary psychology, where body language played a major role in mate selection and social bonding. People who suppress verbal expressions of affection may still leak these signs through their physical movements. These subtle gestures often bypass conscious filters, making them far more reliable indicators of true feelings. Kinesics, the study of body motion. Communication shows that people in love often exhibit open body posture, preening behavior like smoothing clothes or touching hair, and involuntary mimicry. When you observe these signs repeatedly, especially in emotionally charged contexts, it often indicates internal conflict between their hidden emotions and their outward behavior. They run hot and cold. One of the most confusing signs is inconsistency. One day they are warm, engaging, and deeply connected. The next, they act distant, as if they don't care. This push-pull dynamic is often a result of an internal struggle. They feel something strong, but they're scared of vulnerability, rejection, or complications. If you notice that someone frequently shifts between being open and withdrawing, it's likely they're fighting a battle between their heart and their mind. They might text you often, then suddenly go silent for days, or they could initiate deep, meaningful conversations and later act as if those moments never happened. This inner turmoil is a clear sign that they're struggling with their emotions. For you, emotional ambivalence often comes from cognitive dissonance, the discomfort one feels when torn between conflicting desires. On one hand, they may deeply want to get closer to you. On the other hand, fear, self-doubt, or past trauma may convince them to keep distance for self-preservation. The result is a hot and cold behavior pattern that leaves you confused, but is rooted in a deeper emotional struggle that they may not fully understand themselves. Psychological theories like attachment anxiety show that this inconsistent behavior is not always manipulative. Rather, it's often a manifestation of unresolved emotional conflict, where the person is both drawn to and afraid of closeness. They may fear loss, fear abandonment, or fear losing control, so they alternate between emotional intimacy and detachment as a coping strategy. And while this inconsistency can be confusing for you, it's also a window into their emotional vulnerability and unspoken fear. So have you noticed any of these signs in someone around you? If so, there's a good chance they are wrestling with their emotions for you. But remember, hidden feelings can stem from many things, such as past heartbreak, fear of rejection, or even uncertainty about what they truly want. If you suspect someone is struggling with their emotions, the best thing you can do is be patient. Allow them the space to figure things out at their own pace, and if you're feeling bold, maybe give them a reason to stop fighting and start Embracing what's already there? Sometimes all it takes is one genuine moment of connection, one open-ended question, one safe pause in the chaos, to let someone know that it's okay to feel what they're feeling. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more psychology-backed insights into love and relationships. Thank you for watching.